Previously on the Alpha's Concubine.
I was not alone in the garden. Someone was here with me, a strange man. Leave. I needed to carry out my plan. The strange man bent on his knees in silence, laying down a single yellow rose onto a small square of concrete that seemed to be a grave. I carefully watched him from behind. I could see he was very tall. With a small glimpse of his face from the side, I could see he was handsome. I attentively examined his body from behind, tracing the length of his long, dark, charcoal hair resting on his strong shoulder and broad back. I was now curious to know who he was and who the person within the grave to him. The strange, beautiful man was attired in armor, not compared to the other guards. His design was much different from behind. He seemed to be a high-ranking wolf. He got off his knees. He truly was tall, much taller than the Alpha. He was like a giant wolf. He's the tallest I've ever seen a man nor a woman. I swallowed my spit hard, taking notice of his sword at his side. It's almost the same length as my body. It was sharp, it terrified me. My hand tightened around my mouth, making sure I made no sound. He spun around. I was now able to see his face fully. He was indeed handsome, but didn't look friendly at all. But who was he? I needed to know. I watched his every move secretly as he walked with great power from where he was. I could feel every hair raising on my skin with every step he took. I was no longer in any haste for him to leap. His presence made me eager to know who he was. Suddenly, he stopped and stood beside the large, neatly trimmed high grass I was behind. My eyes widened, worried if he had discovered I was watching him. "Show yourself, she-wolf," the strange, strong, handsome wolf ordered me. He knew he was not alone. His voice was far more powerful than Alpha Maximus. It sounded deadly and colder than his stare. He sounded like he had no care in the world but for his sharp sword across his armor that looked like he polished every hour of the day. My body shivered, afraid to reveal myself to him. I have a powerful scent, far more than any wolf, to know when I'm being watched or not alone, so reveal yourself from the grass, she-wolf, before my not-so-pleasant tempter strike you, he warned me. Slowly, I walked around it to him. My heart raced within my chest hard, and I held each side of my long red dress, worrying like crazy about what he could do to me. "I'm too impatient," the strange wolf said. I walked quickly, and soon I am standing at the end of the large grass, allowing him to see me. He was even more handsome. His dark eyes stared into mine, moving down from my head to foot and returning to my face. It was my eyes alone he could see within my new apparel. My ocean eyes. "Show yourself," he ordered me as he took one step. His sword hit on his armor, and his large boot made heavy sounds on the ground. I felt like I was going to faint. "I can't," I answered him quickly. "You can't or you won't," he said gravely as he took three more steps towards me, a giant step because of how tall he was. We were now face to face. My feet began to tremble, and soon my lips, from being so close to him. He was like a large tree towering above me. I was like a child standing next to him because of my height. In touching his face, I would have to jump to reach him, trying to. Within his eyes, I could see nothing but anger. Only the leaders of the pack should see my face, I explained to him quickly, not wanting any trouble. One hit by his muscular hand could kill me. He laughed. My eyes widen. Remove your scar, eyes widen. Remove your scar, she-wolf, he again ordered me. My body soon felt weak, terrified by him. I can't, again I was about to tell him. But Natasha came to my rescue. I've been looking for you, she said as she ran to me. She was frightened to see I was not alone. Good evening, she bowed her head to the strange wolf. At that moment I realized that he was truly a high-ranking wolf. I stared hard at him. Come, Natasha said as she took my right hand, pulling me behind her. I went along with her and turned around glancing at the strange wolf as I did. My hand went to my covered face, gently touching my red scarf. His deadly the wind. He was like a beautiful picture. I just couldn't stop looking at him. I turned around quickly before I could fall onto my face. Why did you bow to him? I was about to ask Natasha before I could. I swallowed all of my words by what she informed me. The rulers of this pack are about to have a big celebration now, she said as she let go of my hand. Why? I asked her. You're about to find out soon, she said to me. Walk quickly, the Luna wants you within the ballroom before the party begins. I walked quickly behind her. How am I just knowing about a party? I asked her. This party was planned for a long while for the end of the war, so follow me swiftly and hush your mouth before you get me any trouble. I did as I was told and went into the large ballroom. It was crowded and full of a lot of wolves. Both men and women. They all sat around a long table filled with food and beer and wine. You'll be sitting with me, Natasha told me as she carried me over to a table where all the other maids were. I sat and my head went to where the rulers were, Alpha Maximus and his Luna, Trina. Alpha Maximus was dressed in full gold armor and his Luna within a white and silver dress, with her red hair curled beautifully and face painted in makeup. She was a beautiful sight to see, which questions me why the Alpha wants a concubine, and he had such a beautiful she-wolf. I was very anxious to know. The Alpha stood from his throne and raised his right hand. Soon everyone was shouting excitedly by all men and women loudly. He raised his hand again for them to be silent. Again, we were victorious in another war, the Alpha shouted. The yelling repeated. All thanks to our greatest warrior, my brother Marcel Wolfenton, he yelled. My eyes suddenly widened seeing the man I met in the garden. The handsome, beautiful, strange wolf was his brother. That's why he left when I told him I couldn't show my face. Iron Pack, claw again rule. Marcel yelled, raising his hand into a fist. His voice echoes in the room. He then began to howl, and everyone followed. I stared at the man appalled. Luna Trina Bloodwolfenton will allow to devirginize me for her Alpha.